Thank you very much. It's great to be back. As David said, your eyes are not blurry. I'm the exact same guy that was here a year ago, those of you that were here, and I'm glad to be here. And I'm glad to be back, get a chance to speak to you guys. Glad to be back to Arkansas State. I don't think they truly believed me when I told them that in the beginning. Chuck's sitting right here in front of me, and he was in the room when I said it, and I don't think he even truly thought it would be possible. But I told him the truth. Hey, you're stuck with me now. Now remember this 2, 3, 4 years down the road that you said you wanted me to stay for a while because you're stuck with me. I tell my wife that she's been stuck with me for 23 years. And I don't think I was her first choice, but I was her last choice. Dave told you a little bit about our trek. I talked to you guys a little bit last year when I was here about all the places we've been. We did start on the edge of the earth at eastern New Mexico State. I'm just curious if anybody in this room ever been to Portales, New Mexico. You've been, oh Lord have mercy. It's not the edge of the earth, but you can see it from there. It's kind of what I would describe it. And it has been a long road. It's been 23 years of football. She's the daughter of an ex-football coach. So I don't know what she was thinking when she married one, but it's been 23 years, 11 different stops, 7 different states, and 20 houses that we've lived in 23 years. 20 houses. 20, yeah, I see women's like, you got to be kidding me. So it's been fun. It's been fun. It's kind of all gotten us to here. A couple new things for me. You're going to notice a couple things to go along with the Bill Clinton voice is, just got to ask that again out in front. Do you ever do Bill Clinton impersonations? I got to have something to do when they realize I can't coach. And so that's going to be the answer. 2 things. Number 1, braces. Braces, if you've noticed, I try to hide them as best I can, but when I start talking, some of the words don't come out quite right. Come to find out that being a head coach does not stop you from grinding your teeth and stressing out all the time. So braces were the only way to fix the problem. I'll have them off November 22nd. It'll be 7 months from beginning to end, fastest I think ever, thanks to Dr. Fergus up in Jonesboro. She's done a great job. I think we skipped about 4 steps along the way to get those things knocked out. Also, yes, I did break my hand. And you just got to do what you got to do to get the guys going. Those of you who watched the game a couple weeks ago against South Alabama on Tuesday night, a couple things. Number 1, before the game started, they talked me into wearing a T-shirt out. Wasn't a whole lot of thought into it. Sorry, Jeff Hankins. That caused a lot of media frenzy about me wearing a T-shirt, but I do what I can to keep you active and busy. So I threw the T-shirt on. We weren't playing very well. At halftime, I'd seen about all I could see of what we were doing, and so I went into my tirade at halftime, and in the process of doing that, I took out my frustrations on a door, and the door won. It did get the response needed, got their attention, they listened to what I had to say. We went back out, we went on a tear and found a way to win the game. We scored 29 points in 5.5 minutes, and all along I'm thinking, you'd be proud of me. They never knew that my hand was broken until it was over. I knew it was broken as soon as I hit the door. Walked around the corner, stuck it in a cooler, and tried to ice it down. By the end of the game, it was about twice the size of the one on the left. And came in and Doc said, hey, there's no doubt about it. But a few weeks of this will remind me not to let my red hair take the best of me. And hopefully I'll make better decisions. But if all it takes is a broken hand to get a W, I'm all in. Now, a lot has happened since the last time I was here. Can I give you a rundown? You heard some of those. We had another winning season last year. We finished in a bowl game. That's 4 straight. We're working desperately to make it 5 straight. That is really important to Arkansas State, the brand. I think it's important to the state, just in terms of what people think about this state in terms of football. We want to do our part to represent the state well, and we want to continue to build the Arkansas State brand. There's never been a better time than right now to be there. And so we got still some work to do. We're not bowl eligible yet. We're going to work on that every week. But to do that 4 years in a row, have a chance to make it 5 is huge for us. And we want to continue that trend. We sent the first group of athletes on a study abroad program. Only program in the United States that ever have done that. We sent 18 players, not just football and other sports, to London. They spent 3 weeks there. They got a credit, 3-hour credit. They came back with a ton of information and contacts, and all those guys are going to be able to build their resume through that. I thought that was a great idea by our administration, Chuck and Terry. Mahajer and Tim, all those guys willing to spend the money and the time and the resources to send athletes to study abroad. I can tell you in recruiting that has been huge. When you can sit in a home and let people know you want to go above and beyond to build their son's resume and give them a chance to do something special. And we're going to continue to do that as long as we possibly can. It was huge. Guys came back and had a great time and learned a lot. So to be the first at doing that, it'd be interesting to see does anybody follow suit and do some similar things to help build the resumes of their young men. We also graduated all 15 senior football players off last year's team. We don't win games, but we really want them to be prepared, and we want all those guys, and some of those guys are the first, several, the first to ever go to college in their families. Several of those guys are now working on their master's degrees. In fact, you know, Terry Mahajer made a bold statement a couple of years ago, and I know he repeated it this past year, that we basically promise our athletes that they graduate and they go through our mentor program. We basically, we commit to 100% job placement. And I can tell you, of those 15 guys, they are all either placed in positions right now or they are in grad school working towards a graduate degree. Again, there's life after football. It's important. Football is going to stop for all these guys a lot earlier than they want it to. It did for all of us. Whether it be injury, whether it be they're just not going to have the opportunity in the NFL, whatever it may be, circumstances are going to take football away. We want them to have careers. We want the study abroad was to broaden their resume, and the job placement is an active approach to doing that. And it's just something I think our folks are doing a great job, and I came around at the right time. We're just trying to come alongside that and do the best job we can. Those are some things that have happened since you saw me last. Now, facility-wise, you saw a glimpse of it in the video. There's a couple things we've done on campus. If you haven't been to Jonesboro in a while, and I'm not going to ask you about show of hand, because I'm afraid how many people are going to raise their hands that hadn't been there. You need to come. We've done two things here in the recent, since I was here last, in recent history. We just finished a brand new indoor facility, which you know the weather in Arkansas, we needed one desperately. We've been in it probably 20 times since the season started. We spent the first 3 days of fall camp in the indoor just due to lightning alone. We went back and counted last year of how many days we missed in training. And in our sport alone, we missed 25 days of training last year because we didn't have the access of an indoor facility and a place where we could continue to train. We've been in it. We were in it last night for a practice when the weather wasn't real good. Like I said, we were in it the first 3 days of fall camp due to lightning, and it has been a huge impact on recruiting as well. It's 120 long. It's probably the classiest, one of the nicest facilities I've ever been in. That's including NFL. We've got scouts there every day. Every one of them has continued to say the same thing. It's one of the best facilities I've ever seen. They did a great job. It took longer than we wanted to. It took a while to get it finished, but when it was finished, it has been huge in every aspect of what we're doing. Not just for us. All the other sports will spend a lot of time in there as well. Baseball, I know, had a tremendous, they had a rough time last year trying to get their training in during the weather of the off season, and so they'll spend a lot of time with heating cages and all that. Also, on top of the indoor facility was the West Side Stadium expansion. You can kind of see the way that looked. Luxury boxes, suites, all the above. It has been it's been a huge addition. Now, and I say on time because it came down to the wire with a Missouri home game on September 12th. I know Terry, I think Terry Mahajer, our AD, was up there screwing in light bulbs and paint, moving furniture. I mean, really the last day, but it is first class. It is a beautiful facility. Every luxury box was sold early in the process. And just, I don't get to go up there a whole lot. I'm typically down on the field on Saturday. And so, but I have heard that the game day environment has been just wonderful. And just what it's going to do again for us in recruiting is going to be huge. And so I would just encourage you to come take a look. I think that's probably a price tag of around $40 million worth of new renovations and new projects over the last couple of years. And again, that goes to Chuck. Terry Mahajer has, the guy doesn't sleep, our AD, we got the best in the country, and they've done a great job for us. So, but we're not done yet. That's a great thing. We're not done yet. There's more to come. There's still all kind of things happening on campus. Athletically, we're still wanting to build a new complex. We need to make room for other sports as well. There's possibility of more female sports coming on campus, so it's just going to continue to grow. But it's not all football. There's some great things happening on campus as well. I think if you're an Arkansas State grad, I mean, just give you pride to know that things are continuing to grow on campus. We've got a med school that's coming fall of 2016, and I know there's a lot of conversation and things that went into the process of getting that done. That will be huge in terms of recruiting for us. That will bring about a completely different group of guys that we will be able to recruit with the addition of the med school. We've got a campus that's being started in Mexico City. We'll be the first to do that. We like being the first. And then we also just noticed a couple weeks ago, came out a publication said that we were top 15 in the country in MBAs online. And you know, as many people, non-traditional students, are going back and getting their masters and going back and going to college online. Just the availability across the United States and across the world to be able to get an MBA and it be considered one of the top 15 in the country. That's a great place to be. So it's not just on the field of play. It's not just on the field, it's also off the field as well. Now, you heard a little bit about how our season's going. There are some great things going on the field. Now, it kind of started really in the community, to be honest with you, before the season started. Another thing that we were able to do this year is we were able to set a new record in season ticket sales. We went over 10,000 for the first time in school history. And we did a couple things. I've been known to give away tickets on the side of the road, and I bought a few and gave a few away. But we also had one of our guys, Jason Martin, is inside of our ticket department, and he wore a helmet for a month, 24/7. I think other than taking a shower and brushing his teeth, he wore that helmet, and just as a way to make guys aware of just how serious we were. And I don't think he knew just how heavy a helmet was when he said he would do that. And by the end of the week, by the end of the month, he was more than ready to get it off. We hit the 10,000 mark. That's well over, I think, 1,300 more season tickets than we sold in the past. The community really stepped up, and we've had great attendance. We're leading the league in attendance again this year with over 26,000 home attendance. And so things are continuing to grow. We keep talking about building a monster. We're doing it one day at a time, one program at a time, one ticket at a time, one season ticket at a time. And it's a fun time to be a part of it. Now, it did not start off quite as well on the field of play, I'll be honest with you. We started off with the roughest non-conference schedule in the country. Started off at USC, number 8 in the country, and they are just as big and as pretty as I thought they would be. We walked off in the Rose Bowl, and guys just kept coming out. And the crazy part is that these guys walked out and they looked good. And I realized that was their snappers in their holes. And the rest of the guys came out and like, oh my goodness, it's going to be a long night. And we did not play very well. It would have taken our best effort physically to match up to what those guys are. We're not there yet. That is the goal. That is the direction we're headed, to be able to win those kind of games at some point. We're just not there yet. We need to build a little bit more. We need to work a little bit more. But that was an eye-opening experience. Would have liked to have played better. Did not play well at all. We turned the ball over, and to be honest, I think we're a little bit overwhelmed by the environment. And so we've got to learn from that. I think we did. We came back home and played a great game against Missouri. Missouri's offense is not very good, but their defense is still top 5 in the country. We did score 20 points. I think if Freddie had not gotten hurt, Freddie Knight went down in that game. Had he not gotten hurt, I really liked where we were in the second half. Had a great opportunity to win that game. That would have been, kind of a signature win for us. And we let it slip. Turnovers, an injury to Freddie, and a couple things that didn't go our way, and we didn't get it done. Now, the crowd was great. We had 30,000. It was a great environment. It is a picture of what it can be like all the time, and that's where we're headed, but would have loved to have gotten that done. We had to then play James Tabor, our redshirt freshman quarterback, the next few weeks while Freddie was getting healthy. And we found a way to beat Missouri State, who we were a lot better than. We traveled to Toledo, did not play well. I think we all find out that if you turn the ball over against a good Toledo team, you're going to lose. Same thing happened down the road in Fayetteville. We turned it over 5 times. Not sure how many times they did, but to combine together way more than any of us needed, and we've all taken losses to what I think is a very good football game. Toledo's a better football game than Missouri, or better football team than Missouri right now. They've built it well. They've been, the coaching staff and that crew have been there for a long time. They've done a good job. They're going to continue to win games. So we did battle back from that, and we have done a great job 3 weeks in a row inside conference play, found ways to get wins. One of those against Idaho. It was an improved football team, but we did that with a backup quarterback, and James did a good job of finding a way to manage that game and get us a win. We traveled to two Tuesday games. Now, people keep asking me, do I like Tuesday games, do I not? It's different. I love the fact that we're the only brand on TV that night. I think it's huge for Arkansas State. I think it's huge for the state. I think it's great for our conference. But it's a little different when you get to Saturday and you're the only one not playing and everybody else is. It takes a little while to get used to that. We've done that 2 weeks in a row. We did go down to South Alabama, which anytime I think you have a good conference opponent, you have to go on the road to win. That's when you find out a lot about your football team. And it did cost me a hand, but we did get a win. And we found a way in the fourth quarter to manage to find 29 points in a 5-minute stretch when really everything had gone South Alabama's way for pretty much the whole game. Very proud of the way the defense responded. We're starting 9 brand new starters on defense this year. Those of you that paid attention last year were not very good on defense at any point. We really struggled to stop the run. We went out and recruited and rebuilt our defense. And right now they're leading the nation in interceptions. I think they're leading or tied in the country in interceptions for a touchdown. And they have been a huge part of those 3 wins the last 3 weeks in conference play. And they're stopping the run for the first time. We did not do that last year. And we are playing very well against the run and obviously making people turn the ball over when they decide to throw it. Now, this past Tuesday was a rivalry game, which I absolutely love. We had the Cajuns at our place. They don't like us. We don't like them. We don't make a whole lot of bones about it. And I think you probably need to come up with a trophy or something for us. I heard David is the official trophy guy. And, I don't know if some boxing gloves would be appropriate, but you know, it was a good game. And we, to be honest with you, I thought we grew up a lot. A year ago, we played those guys on a Tuesday night. The game got out of control. We had all kind of 15-yard penalties. I mean, it almost spilled over onto the field at the end. Both teams. I mean, it was not what any of us want to represent our program or our conference. And we went through this game with just as much physical football play, a good solid football game. We played well without a single 15-yard penalty from our guys. We only had 3 penalties for the night. One of them we told them to take a delay. And so I thought we really grew up in a lot of areas. We've proved that you can be the most physical team on the field. You can also be the classiest team on the field. And that's exactly what we want to do. So we find ourselves at 4-3 and 3-0, and 3-0 really is the big important number. Our whole goal all year was to find a way to win this league. We control our own destiny. And I was listening to a couple of seniors last night and said, Coach, we've never been here before. We've always been expecting or hoping somebody else could beat somebody so we would win. And we have won 3 of the last 4. But somewhere along the way, I mean, we're in a position now that we can truly control what we do. We've got Georgia State coming to town next week. It's a 6 o'clock game. It is Halloween, or Halloween as we like to say up there. If you haven't been to a game, it's a great opportunity to come watch. Now, there's a lot of games in the state, but you know, we play a fun brand of football. They got all kind of stuff going on around Halloween for the kids. They'll leave with more candy than they could possibly imagine, and hopefully we'll leave 4-0 and continuing to move forward in conference play the way we need to. Like I said, you know, if you haven't been, I would encourage you to come spend time with us. It's not the same Arkansas State you remember. If you haven't been there in 5 years, if you haven't been there in 10 years, the place has changed. For me as a coach, having come back from coaching at other universities and come and play in games there, now to be there every day and just to see the way that the place, the town, the university has really grown and changed over the last 5 and 10 years. It has been remarkable what people have been able to do. And I'm proud to be there now. I can't wait to get back on the field with the guys again this week. I think we get better every week, and we need to continue to do that because we got some tough games ahead. But I'm very proud of where we're at this point. Now, I know you may have some questions. I'd love to answer anything you got. Obviously, Freddie being a local guy here, if you got any questions about him, I'll be glad to answer about him. And other than that, I'll get out of y'all's way and let you finish up what you're doing.
I get to meet Coach Sound the president. All right, Coach, 2 things. Give us where you'd like to see the program 3 years from now. In your mind, where do you want to take this program? Where do you see it regionally, nationally? And the other thing, I know you were your disciple, sort of. I don't even know if you say disciple. Obviously, you and Larry Fedora obviously had offensive concepts that you used. Who was your philosophy come from? Where does it come from? Where's your background? Who were the coaches that really influenced you?
If I remember right, I think you may be the only one that asked questions last year. I started seeming vaguely familiar. 2 things. Where do I want our program to go? I mentioned a slogan that we have adopted and believe in, building a monster. We want to be the best team in the group of 5. We're not in the Power 5. It's not the way it's set up. And the playoff system is not really set up for us to play in the playoffs as it is. I mean, if we could go undefeated, I still don't believe we would get into the 14 playoff. But we can be the best at what we are. And there's a couple things that have to happen for us to do that. Number one, we got to be able to win our conference on an every year basis. We have to be able to dominate our league, and we're working hard to do that now. And we've been able to do it in the past. We've got to schedule in a way in preseason and non-conference that gives you a chance to be competitive and win some games, and also have a signature win. And we were not there yet this year. That is the step we've got to take. And we're gonna schedule aggressively teams that people like to see us play, teams that will allow us to gain national credibility, and ultimately games that we feel like we can win. And so I think you're seeing a team like Memphis do that right now. They've got things going in the right direction. Houston has that. Toledo has done the same thing. Boise has done that over the years. Those are kind of patterns for what we want to be able to get done. And it just takes time. It just takes time and commitment. And we've got time and we've got commitment. I promise you, the people around the program are committed to getting that done. And so I'd like to look up 2-3 years from now and be the #1 ranked team in the group of 5 and represent the group of 5 in a January bowl. That is very realistic if we continue to do what we're doing. And so that's where we're headed, and we're committed to that. Now, offensively, philosophy, obviously a lot of it came from Larry Fedora, and Larry's tree goes back to Rich Rodriguez. So I would say the way we line down and the way we operate in our run game is really a lot from the Rich Rodriguez tree, Larry Fedora, the guys that were at Tulane with Rich, the West Virginia style of offense that he ran. I branched out away from Larry a little bit when we were separated when he went to Florida and I was at Middle Tennessee. And I spent time with Sonny Dykes and Mike Leach, and that's where the pass game came from. And so when it was turned over to me, basically what I did was combine all the things I loved about Larry's system, the way we played fast, the way we lined up no huddle, the run game, which is still the best no huddle run game that's out there, and I combined that with what I found in the pass game, which goes all the way back to Hal Mumme with Mike Leach and Sonny Dykes and that crew, and we blended them together. And we threw out the things we didn't need, because you can't have it all, and we blended it together, and we've gotten where you see what Baylor and what Texas Tech and what you see Cal doing these days, what you see at Texas A&M. All those guys we're all kind of from the same family that have pulled from what you see Mike Leach do over the years, and Hal Mumme, and what you've seen Rich and his crew do in the run game. And what we blended together is a really tough offense to defend. Now, they're all not all the same. It all has a lot to do with your quarterback. We look a little bit more like Oregon right now than we would if we had a drop back guy. Freddie's so athletic and can move, and you have to defend him. The run game becomes a big issue for him. So it's been fun to watch how that offense has spread across the country, and to be on it really at the ground floor. Anybody else got a question?
Before I ask my questions, I like the T-shirt approach.
Thank you very much.
It makes you look less austere.
I don't even know if I know what that means. I didn't graduate from there. I graduated from St. Lucie State. I will take that as a compliment.
My questions are, what's the advantage of having an athletic director who plays for football at the university you're coaching? And the second question is, with condolences to your hand, how superstitious are you?
I'm not superstitious at all, and I'm not going to make a habit of hitting anything in the future. This has become a lot more trouble than it was worth. But, I think it's huge to have a guy that's at home. Terry has such pride for that place and wants to see it accomplish the things that we've talked about. To have a guy that really is back home and is committed to making sure his alma mater finishes what he started, that's huge. And so we're lucky to have him. I have not been around a guy that hustles like Terry Mohajir in this. And like I said, I've been in a lot of places in 23 years. We're really lucky to have him. Great question. Anybody else? Sir.
You serve as a coordinator also?
I don't now. I did for 15 years. I was lucky enough to bring Walt Bell with me from Carolina, and honestly, not real sure why he came, because he was offered the coordinator's job to stay at Carolina, and he chose to come. Basically, we're family. He played for me 13, 14 years ago at Middle. I felt completely comfortable that he would do a great job. I'm not sure that I would have done it justice with all the things that I do off the field. Now, at some point, I may get back involved, and I am still involved with some of the game planning, but in terms of the day-to-day operation, Walt Bell and his staff do a great job of that. And I can see myself back involved with that at some point. I just don't know when that will be. I do miss it, by the way. Yes, sir.
Last question for you, but I was wondering,
I think decision-making is the key. I think that first year, I think he still struggled to be willing to throw the ball away at times, to be willing to check the ball down at times. I think that's pretty much a natural progression for most quarterbacks that I've dealt with. As a freshman and sophomore, a lot of times they would feel like the play was never dead, it was never over. And what I've seen him do now is be willing to give up on a play when he need to, get us back to the line of scrimmage and make it up the next snap. And to me, that comes back to maturity and understanding what we need and what I'm asking of him, and also understanding the system. The check downs and the drop downs, not always expected to have to push the ball down the field. Seen him make a big strides in that area even from last spring to this fall as well. Because he never quits. He never quits learning. But yes, sir.
Last couple of years, the team is looking a little more physical, stronger. Tell us about strength coach, what you're doing there to become a little more physical.
Well, I think it's the most important hire any head coach makes, is a strength coach. Saw a statistic, don't know how accurate it is, but it's probably pretty close, that somebody did a study and said that their players spend 82% of their time with the strength coach in the football program. Because you consider the fact there's so much of the year that we're not able to spend time. Either we're on the road recruiting or the rules don't allow for interaction. Our strength coach is with them pretty much all year. And we hired Matt Shadid. He was an assistant at Ole Miss. He was with me at Southern Miss during my time there. This is his first head coaching job. He was young. He's 27 years old when I hired him as a head strength coach, and he's done a great job. Kids absolutely love him, number one. The energy that he brings to the program is, it's infectious. Our kids love being around him. We have a different style of football because of the tempo that we play. It's not so much about bulk strength as it is functional strength. And we spend a lot of time talking about how to get functional strength and not compromise strength, but still be flexible and still be mobile and still be able to play, 85, 90, 95 snaps in a game. And we've been able to accomplish that. And we're not there yet. I still think we're not the strongest team in the league yet. I think we're moving in that direction, but we are functionally strong and we're able to play for 4 quarters. And we've been through a year and a half with this group, and in not one game have we been out of gas in the 4th quarter when the opponent still had it. We've always been able to play for 60 minutes, and to me that goes back to him this step.
Who gets credit for the freshman running back from Oklahoma?
Well, I do, because I'm the one here speaking. Warren Wand has been a great addition. He's not the only freshman that's playing. He's the most visible, no doubt. He's also the smallest one. He's 5'5", 190-pound running back from Edmond, Oklahoma. Brian Early is the one that found him and recruits that area. Brian is an Arkansas guy, as some of you guys know. And then we really recruit as a staff, so everybody was involved from that point forward. He has been a huge surprise, and we knew he was good, but we didn't know that he would be that mature, that good, that quickly. We are starting 3 different freshmen on offense and defense, but he's going to be fun to watch for the next few years.
Coach needs to wait.
Oh, and he's right. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Coach, I noticed the ball carrier puts his hand on the face mask of the defender a lot, but they don't call that as a penalty.
Yes.
Is there any conversation about?
Well, there is. If they grab it, they will call it, but it's not called very often. If they grab and manipulate the face mask in any way, is the term, then it should be called. Now, if they just stiff arm, a stiff arm is legal as long as they don't grasp the face mask. I've seen it called a couple times. It normally does not. It's typically something they let those guys get away with, but I've seen it called, a handful of times. Anybody else back here in the back?
I know you played Missouri this year. Unlike another SEC West team, we would love to have you in Baton Rouge on a Saturday night in Tiger Stadium.
Well, they're not on our schedule anytime in the near future, but I think we've made our way pretty much across the SEC at some point. We'll probably end up back down there at some point in the future. Yes, sir.
2 more questions and we'll close it up. We've got one of the top high school coaches and coaching staffs in the state here. What's your philosophy about recruiting Arkansas kids, if you could? And then you've been coaching 23 years. Talk about maybe how the game has changed and the kids and how to deal with it and how that's been from where you started to where you are now.
Well, in terms of recruiting, we want to start in state. We want to start at home as best we can. And now we've got to cover a lot of ground. We actually recruit 11 different states and have guys on our roster from 11 different states. And it's hard. We want to do the best we can to bring guys that can help our program, but we also want to try to make sure we start at home. One of the biggest issues we had this last year is that we had so many holes to fill. We really had to go more the junior college route than we'd like. And we're kind of there for one more recruiting cycle, and I'd like to think it'll start leveling itself out where we can really build with a high school talent all the way. We just, we couldn't continue to play defense the way we were playing it, and we had to make some changes this year. We're going to graduate a lot of upperclassmen on offense. We're going to have to dip into the junior college ranks there a little bit too, just to fill the gap. And I think mainly that comes from 5 different head coaches in 5 years. Just something you don't really want. You don't want to continue that cycle, but we'll get through it, and we're getting through it okay. In terms of how the game has changed, the guys are just so much more athletic out in space. I think all the year-round 7-on-7 and the way the game in high school, the guys are throwing the ball year-round. The athletes are so good in space. The systems have changed a bit as well. You know, the old days, I think 10 years ago, where everybody was checking at the line, and now almost every system is built with what we call RPOs, which are run-pass options with multiple plays. And I think, like I said, we were on the ground floor of that being developed, where you had multiple plays going at the same time. It has really made it difficult for defenses to play against what you see today in football, both really in all phases. NFL's doing it all the way through down to high school. It's fun. It's a fun brand of football to watch. It's got to be miserable for a defensive coordinator. And luckily, I'm glad I never was one of those. So, anything else, and then I'll get out of y'all's way. Thank y'all so much for having me.